So I got some interesting feedback on my Waveform QuadMini review video that stated that if you didn't have the antenna pointed in the correct direction, the signal, or your speeds rather, just plummeted. And so I kind of did some testing on my own. I also reached out to Waveform and shared this input so that they could do some of their own independent testing. And then we kind of came together and shared results. And I just want to give that to you guys now. So this is going to be just a quick little update, but I just want to get this out for everybody to review. If we take a look at the QuadMini on paper, specifically looking at the azimuth plane, you will see that the antenna does do a non-directional pattern in terms of how the antenna is radiating. And so for the most part, the energy is being equally dispersed in all directions. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If you look at the 5,000 to 6,000 megahertz, you can see there are some dips, and even a little bit at the 180 degree mark here for 3,500 to 4,200 megahertz. But for the most part, anybody using T-Mobile 5G home internet is going to be living in the 600 to 900 megahertz range or the 1700 to 2700 megahertz range. And for the most part, both of those are actually pretty equal in terms of how circular the radiation is showing on the azimuth plane. One would think you don't really have any issues and the antenna is actually omnidirectional. Now, I went ahead and I hooked the antenna back up to the desktop mount. I put it in the window facing my cell phone tower, and we're going to run through a series of tests here showing the differences between having the antenna facing the cell phone tower, away from the cell phone tower, and then we're going to do each side just for comparison to see what the results are for signal to noise, signal quality, signal power, and see if we really are getting any kind of differences or if the antenna is truly omnidirectional. So I have this hooked up to my Invisigig 5G modem, and real quick, I'm going to show you what the metrics look like on this just so that we can get kind of a baseline. This is with the antenna facing the cell phone tower, and you'll see our signal to power, signal quality, and signal to noise ratio are all in the excellent category. The reason why we have 4 values instead of 1 for each thing is because it's giving us the value for each individual antenna within the QuadMini, as opposed to the T-Mobile 5G home internet gateways where they just give you a single number. So now we're going to do a quick speed test, and we're just going to see where we're at with the antenna facing the cell phone tower. Our ping is god-awful at 115 milliseconds, but the speeds aren't doing too bad. We're kind of midday on a weekend, so it's to be expected. And 5G home internet, it kind of fluctuates anyway, so I don't really feel like running speed tests is the most accurate way to determine whether or not you're getting a good signal or the quality of your service is good. But you'll see we have 185.31 megabits per second down and 88.72 megabits per second up, again with a ping of 115 milliseconds. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip the antenna around, and I'm going to do this all over again, but with the back of the antenna facing the cell phone tower. And I'm going to go ahead and reboot the modem after we move the antenna. That way we get the most accurate representation of what this would look like if you were to set this up this way. Now that we got the modem rebooted, we're going to log back in, and then we're going to look at the live signal data again, but this time with the back of the QuadMini facing the cell phone tower. And we're going to take a look here and see what the metrics look like. And again, it looks like everything here is still in the excellent category. So I'm not seeing any big differences here between the front or the back. And I'm going to put a comparison up at the end of the video that shows all of this so you can see this all on one screen. But now we're just going to head over and run a speed test really quick and see if we get any different results. And it looks like our ping is still not very good at 120 milliseconds with a download speed that's actually slightly higher at 220.67 megabits per second down. And our upload speed is actually a lot higher as well at 115.65 megabits per second up. So now we're going to turn the antenna on its side, and I'm going to have the right side facing out or kind of towards the cell phone tower, if you will, and then we're going to redo the results. And every time I'm going to reboot the modem to make sure that everything's been refreshed from us moving the actual antenna. Getting logged back into my Invisigig modem and taking a look here at the live data once again, you will see that yet again, we have excellent for all of our categories on our metrics. Signal power, signal quality, signal to noise, they all look good. And throughout this test so far, they've all been very close as well. So that's another interesting fact to take into consideration here. So now we're going to hop over and we're going to do a speed test yet again, and we'll see if we get any different results. Something seems to be up with T-Mobile 5G home internet today, because I got a ping again of 115 milliseconds, which is not normal, to be honest with you. I'm normally closer to 30, but anyhow, we got 239.06 megabits per second down, and then we got 113.26 megabits per second up on that run. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the antenna the other way, so the left side is pointed towards the cell phone tower, and we will rerun the tests and look at the metrics. So we got the Invisigig all rebooted, and we're going to go back in and take a look at the live data once again. And to be honest with you, there hasn't been a change, so we're still excellent across the board for all of our metrics. You will see the signal power has changed a little bit. We're pretty much in the 60s, low 70s in the other directions, but in this one you'll see for one of the antennas we're actually at negative 55, and then the second antenna keeps to be fluctuating between negative 70s and negative 60s. But in either case, it's still good, and so we're going to go ahead and run a speed test, and we'll see if we get anything different. It's probably no surprise here, but we got a ping of 115 milliseconds again. We got a download speed of 227.98 megabits per second down, and an upload speed of 71.15 megabits per second up. And so now to put all of this together for you guys, you will see here that the metrics across the board remained in the excellent tier for RF conditions. We did have some fluctuations for our signal power. For the most part, pretty much stayed the same across the board. And Waveform, the team over there, they shared some of their testing that they did, and they were the same, so they were unable to recreate the issue. They said no matter which direction they had the antenna turned, they pretty much got very similar results to this. So I'm very sorry, Joe, but we were unable to duplicate the issue that you are having with the antenna. I would recommend reaching out to Waveform. Maybe they could have a little more details into what's going on and help you out. I hope this information helped you guys out. The antenna is in fact omnidirectional, and if you have any other questions about the antenna, feel free to hit me up down in the comments below. That's all I have for this one, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.